And on the off chance that you're a man, here are my sunglasses, the Matsuda M3023 with the titanium frames with a blue gradient lens. I'll do a review for you. Guess who just bought their in-game tickets? So continuing on with my series of the Tony Stark sunglasses review, I give you the ones from Iron Man 3, the Matsuda M3023 sunglasses. This is a brushed titanium frame with matte blue accents running down the frame and blue gradient lenses. These are probably one of the most synonymous pairs with Tony Stark. He actually wears them twice in the movie, once with swapped lenses and once without. The ones that he wears in the sports bar with Rhodey, he swapped them out for a red lens, and then the one he wears whenever he's talking to reporters outside after Happy, that's whenever he's wearing these lenses, the blue gradient lens. What a lens that is, but we'll get to that later. But a quick touch upon the brand itself. Matsuda is a Japanese manufacturer. They tend to work a lot with titanium frames. A lot of the best titanium frames come from Japan, and this isn't an exception. So this is a full titanium frame, so it's light as a feather, but it's also very sturdy, which is a very good thing. It's also kind of a bad thing, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. This particular model is the 57mm, so this is the one that he wears whenever he walks outside with the reporters. I believe the one that he has the lenses swapped in and he's sitting inside with Rhodey, I think those are the smaller frames. I could be wrong though. And when he's outside talking to the reporters, I believe it's one of the few times that Robert Downey Jr. hasn't chosen to swap out the lens. And I really like that about these is that you can get these right out of the box. They're screen accurate. You don't need to do a lens swap like a lot of the other Iron Man sunglasses he does. So just giving a quick overlook of the frame, it's pretty outlandish. Just looking at the frame itself, it's a very bold design, and then on top of that, it's coupled with a lot of these acetate accessories that kind of go on the side. So here you have the matte blue side shields on it. It just makes these look almost silly. I'm sure some people will say that they just look blatantly silly and not almost silly. I mean, you could say a lot about these glasses, but I don't think that you can call them understated. I mean, you don't wear these to not be noticed. Yeah, so from far away, these things are very bold, but whenever you get in close, that's when things get interesting. Because Matsuda has engineered a lot of really cool details into this frame. So let's go through them one by one. Let's start with the outer rim around the lenses, which is the same color of matte blue that's on the side shields here, making it look like it's just one solid piece of acetate whenever it's really broken up right there in the middle by the frame. Then as you move in closer, I don't know if you could really tell on camera, but it has these small engravings on the outside of the frame itself. This very tight, almost scroll work, and I believe it says MN running all the way around the outside of the lens. And you move close in tight on the acetate, and engraved right there is the M for Matsuda. And as you move down the temple and the ear stalk, you see all of these individual tick marks inside the titanium. And that's another thing, the scroll work on the inside of the lens and the tick marks running down the frame. It's really hard to do work like this on titanium, and it's part of the reason why they command the price that they do. The small intricate detail in working this frame is not easy to do. Then you get to the acetate ear stalks, and then on the back there's a metal stamping of another M. So that's a lot of small details whenever you're looking at the real deal Matsudas. Because I've seen a lot of fakes out there, but trust me, if you can get the real ones, get the real ones. Because the amount of attention to detail is almost second to none. And of course, what's standard with a lot of sunglasses, you have the brand logo right there on the nose pads. And one more quick thing I want to touch on is that if you look at the side shields right here, there's actually a slight engrooving in the acetate itself that allows you to put a screwdriver in right there if you need to get to it. Let's move on to the lenses. Matsuda on their website call these a gray gradient lens. I'm here to tell you they're not a gray gradient lens. They are in fact a dark blue gradient lens. I don't know who wrote that copy calling this a gray lens, but trust me, it's a blue lens. And people who follow my sunglass opinions enough know that I really like blue lenses. And don't worry, this is no exception. So I believe it's a category 3 dark blue gradient lens that's anti-reflective. It's also, I remember reading that Zeiss does a lot of Matsuda lenses. And Zeiss, for those who don't know, are a lens manufacturer who does a lot of work with not only sunglass lenses, but also sculpts and binoculars. They just create some of the clearest possible view coming out of a plastic lens. And yes, that's what these are. These are a plastic lens, but they are still very, very clear for plastic lenses. They are a full gradient lens as well, where they go from completely dark up top to completely clear down at the bottom. And the way I've personally adjusted them right now is the gradient line is just below my line of sight. So everything that's below and I have to look down for, that's completely clear. And everything that I have to look up for, that's very dark. If you're wondering, these lenses are also non-polarized. And if you're wondering, these lenses are 100% UVA, UVB, UVC protected, but they are non-polarized. So all in all, this is a great pair. And if you're wanting to get a pair of Tony Stark sunglasses, this is maybe one of the best options that you have. It's instantly recognizable to Tony Stark. It's also a very well-made frame in its own right, and the lenses are, like I said, very good, and you don't need to do a lens swap to be movie accurate. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. They come in a nice supple Matsuda leather box with Matsuda right there written at the front, and also the circle M written right there on both sides of the box itself. The box has a magnetized clasp, so all you have to do is buckle it open like that, and then right there you see the sunglasses. Whenever you take the sunglasses out, it says Matsuda again right there in felt on the inside of the case, and comes with the Matsuda cleaning cloth. Taking a quick look at the soft case, it's emblazoned with the Matsuda logo right there, and also on the drawstring you have this metal tip where it has the Matsuda M on two sides of it. All you have to do is open up that drawstring, and right there you have your very pretty Matsudas. So yes, this is a very good frame if you're wanting to get a Tony Stark pair of sunglasses, but there are some drawbacks. The first one, I'm not sure if you would consider it a drawback or not, but it's not a very subtle sunglass. If you just kind of want to throw it on and not really try and drag that much attention out, this isn't the pair I'd go for. I mean, you kind of demand attention wearing these. And the other thing, it's a very sturdy frame, which is very, very good 99.9% of the time, except whenever I got these, they were a little wonky. They were kind of bent out of shape. They just felt weird. They kind of felt like they were sitting like this on my face most of the time. So they just felt wonky and uncomfortable. And with it being titanium, you can't really heat treat them to get them back to where you want them to. You have to have a very firm and delicate hand. Luckily, I've adjusted a lot of sunglasses in the past, so I was able to slowly get them where I wanted to, but it wasn't an easy process, and it took weeks and weeks of constantly trying them on and slightly adjusting them and pulling in this and taking out that to get them to fit exactly how I want them to fit. But I will say that now they fit great. Whenever I initially got them, it took me a long time to get them exactly where I wanted to perfectly. And that's just kind of the avenue you go with whenever you go with the titanium frame. Very light, very sturdy, it's just not very malleable. So if you are looking to get a pair of Tony Stark sunglasses, I recommend the Iron Man 3's Matsudas. Mainly, they are truly iconic and synonymous with the character, and they're a lot easier to find than the Ray-Bans I reviewed last time. They're not cheap, mind you, but they are pretty worth it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it. Also, subscribe and share to a friend who you think would like this video as well. But what are your thoughts on the Matsudas? Have you worn them? Have you had them? Have you seen them? What do you think about them compared to other Tony Stark sunglasses? Or if you have another pair of Tony Stark sunglasses that you have that aren't the ones that I've reviewed, please let me know how you feel about them, because I'm really considering about getting a few more pairs before endgame. So yeah, if you like this video, please click right here to subscribe, or you can click right here to watch more. And I'll see you later.